So as many of you will know from watching my videos, I'm a big time vintage toy collector. I go all over the world. Recently we dropped a full series on this channel about toy hunting in Tokyo, and when it comes to buying toys, I just go in. In fact, many of the times when I go on holiday, it's like the main focus of my trip, but this time we're a little bit different. So Claudia is a big time foodie. She's as into food as I'm into toy collecting. She loves writing about food, eating food, blogging about food, going all over the world and trying different stuff. So she entered this competition with a big company in France called Cooking with Class, and she ended up winning it. So we won like a whole week's stay in Paris, all expenses paid, to go to this cooking school, see all the sights and do all this mad stuff in Paris, which was unbelievable. Now, I ain't never been to France before, I've never had a reason to go to France or Paris, but we won this competition, so although we was going there primarily on like a cooking experience, you know for a fact that as soon as I knew we were going there, like I was on Google trying to find out the sickest toy hunting spots. So we arrive in Paris, and the main reason we're there is to do this cooking. So for like 5 days in a row, we were just doing all the maddest cooking, stuff I'd never even attempted to cook, never even knew existed, never tasted anything like it before. And being an artist, like I really liked the art side of stuff, where you can, like, once you've made the food, you make it look really fancy and pretty and really prestigious looking. Claudia was obviously very good at it, way better than me, but I got involved, and for like 5 days straight we just cooked the maddest food you've ever seen, cooked it and ate it. It was awesome. But obviously I've just got in the back of my mind always like, yo, it's got to be time for some toy hunting soon. I've said it so many times, like toy hunting is like an addiction, it's like crack to me, and I need my fix of plastic crack. And if I know that there's a toy shop within our vicinity and I've not been to it yet, like I'm constantly just thinking, like I can't sleep, I think someone's gonna go to that shop and buy the thing that I want to get before me, so like I'm itching to get there. So I looked on Google, as you do, and I found this place that looks like pretty much the only place in Paris that's guaranteed to deliver vintage action figures, and it's a place that I'd heard a lot about but I'd never actually been to, so now was my chance, and it's a place called Lulu Berlu. So you can't miss Lulu Berlu. It's a giant yellow building with a big blue sign saying Lulu Berlu, and it's got thundercats and stuff like murals painted on the outside. There's also a window that's completely full from bottom to top, are all vintage toys that are all like sun bleached and stuff because they've obviously been there a long time, but like you know for a fact when you see it, that's the place that I'm looking for. So we headed over, I opened the door, we get inside, and boom, it's just everything that I hoped it would be. So from floor to ceiling, they've got everything, starting from like vintage Action Man and Guyper Man and Big Jim, all your classic 12-inch and Mego size action figure 60s and 70s dolls. You got Steve Austin, you got Tonto and Lone Ranger, all the Megos, all that kind of stuff. Tons of vintage metal soldiers, all the girls' toys, the Gem dolls, the Care Bears, and then you move into like your 80s action figures. They've got every single Thundercat, they've got all the Motu, all the Masters of the Universe, original, classic, New Adventures of He-Man, customs, reissues, all that stuff. They've got it all. They've got a bag of G.I. Joes. They've got tons of Transformers, Scorponok, Jetfire, Metroplex, tons of Ninja Turtles. They've got a whole Japanese and Asian section. They've got a full bravestarr Fort Corona setup. They've just got pure toys from floor to ceiling. Exactly what you're looking for if you come to Paris and you're on a toy hunting mission. So it's probably the largest collection of those type of vintage toys that I've ever seen. It rivals slightly with Acme in Orlando, but I think blow for blow, this place takes the crown of just pure vintage action figures. So the reason like all these toys are really special to me is that like these are what I grew up on. These are like my nostalgia, because toy hunting and toy collecting and selling and trading runs in the family. So my house as a kid was always full with stuff, buying and selling every kind of vintage action figure that you can imagine. So over the years I've had everything 10 times over. Every single figure line going pretty much I've had at some point. And if I haven't got it now, I've had it. So I've got most of the stuff now, and if I haven't got it, I've had it already, which is why now I'm way more into collecting like crazy stuff that you don't see everywhere, or going to Japan and getting stuff that like was never integrated into the rest of the world. But why this stuff's special to me is this is the stuff that started it all. This is like the core of where my collecting bug come from. So all these classic action figures, your He-Man, your Thundercats, Ninja Turtles, Transformers, bravestarr, Visionaries, all this stuff is the stuff that fueled my fire originally for what my toy hunting journey became. They'll always be at the very centre of why I'm into this stuff, and they're the reason that I started collecting in the first place. So when it comes to somewhere like this, like I said, these are all the kind of figures that I've either got or I've had. They're not the kind of thing that I'm collecting. So I'm trying to find that one thing, one or two things that really jumps out at me that's crazy, something I've not seen. I've seen all the He-Man, I've seen all the Thundercats, I've seen all the Transformers 100 times over. I want to see something that I've never seen before. Or I want to see something that like I'm not expecting to see. I want to see that one thing that jumps out at me, something crazy. Obviously I've got my holy grail checklist that I'm always trying to tick off, and every now and again you'll find something, like when I found the Great Garloo in Japan, that were like boom, a holy grail item ticked off. So I've got my list, but when I come to somewhere like this, I just want to see something that like I never expected to see, but it jumps out at me and I'm just like boom, that's what I'm looking for. And like I said, when I'm in these little tight shops in Japan, I'm looking on top of shelves, underneath them, underneath tables, behind boxes, every nook and cranny. I'm trying to scan this room like a fucking robot so that I don't miss anything. I spot like an amazing like bootleg Power Rangers White Tigerzord, and I think it was Korean, but it was on a blister pack and Tigerzord came in a box. So this was like some mad blister pack knockoff Tigerzord with all like accessories in there, random accessories that didn't come with the original figure. That were really cool. I did check that one did catch my eye. I also saw like a point of sale stand of these Universal Monster figures. They do all the Universal Monsters and Freddy Krueger and that kind of thing, and they're like Spanish or something like that. They're very weird and they're quirky, and they look almost bootleg, but there's like a whole set of like 20 of them or something like that, 15 figures or something. You got Planet of the Apes, Universal Monsters, like I said, Freddy Krueger and stuff, and they usually come bagged. They usually come in separate bags. They usually come in separate bags like this. But they had a point of sale stand where they had all of them in like a little stand like what you'd have on a till, on a desk, on a counter at a shop, and I love that shit. I want my house to look like a vintage fucking toy shop, so when I see anything like that I'm always instantly drawn to it. But like I saw it and I'm checking out the price, and this was like hundreds of pounds more than I wanted to pay for it. So a lot of people think when it comes to toys, I'll just spend. Not at all. Like, I've got my limit, and whenever I go on a holiday or a trip like this, I've sold a lot of stuff before so that I've got like a certain amount of money that I can spend on toys. But I don't want to blow all that on one thing. Like, very, very rare. Unless it's like a pure holy grail item, it's very rare that I want to blast all my spending money on one thing. So they didn't come home with me, and I didn't regret it, because they were fucking awesome, but I didn't want to pay the price that they were. So I'm still looking for that one thing. Then I spot a bad boy toy, and it's instantly what I'm looking for. Autonomy 2000, which is like a mad Spanish, obviously come from this like Visible Man in the late 70s. This is a 1980 Anatomy 2000, which is like a crazy old science kit for a kid, which is, it comes in, so you open it up, it comes in 3 parts. You've got the skin layer, then you've got all the organs, then you've got the skeleton, and this is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for, something fucking weird. And I love like weird old anatomical shit. Growing up I loved science kits and crystal growing and mad anatomy men where you could take the eye out and the organs and all that kind of thing. I love that, so if I find a vintage one I'm always drawn to it. So this thing instantly took my eye. So it comes in 3 parts. Like I said, you've got the muscle, you've got the organs, then you've got the skeleton. It all folds out. There was a book inside. The box is fucking awesome. One of the main things that I saw were like some neon skeletons on the side, and I'm mad for a fucking neon skeleton. I love that neon, slimy, weird, toxic shit, so I was instantly drawn to that. So that, boom, a definite first purchase. That one instantly came on with me. Then I spot, and I didn't even get this on camera, but I filmed it after. I saw a sick Masudaya Kamen Rider talking figure in the box. These originally came out in like the 70s, and then they were like reissued in the late 90s. They're fucking awesome, and I love them. And I saw one, and I was like, boom, that's coming home with me. So I got that sick Kamen Rider Masudaya. I picked one of these up as well in Japan, in Tokyo. The Spectreman, like Ant Kaiju. So they go nicely together, both in the box. I always say as well when I buy this stuff, like I always worry about getting it home, and this is one of the things that actually got damaged when we got back to England. I opened it up and the box had got pierced somehow in the suitcase, so the box cellophane is now like cracked and split, which is a shame, but it is just cellophane, and it's not like a specific type of vintage cellophane. It's some material that I can get, so I can replace that eventually. But I just wanted to show you that like I don't lie when I say about getting all this stuff back. Like sometimes stuff does get damaged, and it's funny because the only thing that got damaged coming back from Japan was that Spectreman Kaiju ant creature. The box got a bit bashed, so like these things are a little bit cursed. I need to be watching whenever I buy one of these in the future, because there's quite a few in this set, and I'll always buy them if I see them. That like they for some reason seem to get damaged when they're in a suitcase. The next thing I bought was like just a bit of a daft thing, really. When I'm doing this toy hunting stuff, I like to pick something up that I'm not gonna get everywhere. The Kamen Rider, the Mad Anatomy 2000, Anatomy 2000, however you say it, it's Spanish. You know what I mean? Don't fucking judge. Whenever I buy those kind of things, they're things that you ain't gonna get everywhere. I'm not gonna go in here and start buying Motu and bravestarr because you see them all over the world. I like to pick up things that you're not gonna see everywhere. So this item that I bought, you do see these around, but I just like it, and I've got like a mad like. Is asphyxiation a word? Like I've got a mad asphyxiation of something. It means strangle wank, innit? Yeah, no, that's not what I mean. Yeah, no, not an asphyxiation. I've got a mad love for toys that were like created for films and TV shows that kids shouldn't have been watching. So there's this mad like hip hop stud Freddy figure that's a squishy Freddy Krueger, which was like a kid's toy, but it was obviously from the Nightmare on Elm Street series, which are there's none less than a 15, and especially in like the late 80s, early 90s, even then they were still just a 15, so they shouldn't have been marketed to kids, but I think it's fucking awesome. So there's like a whole line of Nightmare on Elm Street figures that you could buy, and this is one of the few that I haven't got. So the box was mash up, it was sun bleached, the bubble is like yellowed and a bit cracked, but like, and do you know what, it wasn't even cheap. This is the funny thing, it wasn't even cheap, but I just saw it and I'm like, I need it. So eventually I'll get a nice detailed one, and I'll replace it with this one or whatever, but just because I saw it, I wanted it, so that also came home with me. And then the final, what? Oh, okay, I thought you'd turn it off. But if you turn it off, then I've got a fucking piss about syncing it up, innit? I've got a piss about syncing up the sound and thing again, so I just wondered if you'd press that. Okay, back to it. The final thing that I bought there is something called a Ninja Warrior figure, but these was a Spanish version called Yaxi Ninja. They're from that like 80s period where everything was like ninja obsessed. Very Big Trouble in Little Chinatown, Mortal Kombat style shit, Godfrey Ho Ninja, all that kind of shit where you've got like really evil, weird, brutal fantasy ninjas, or like street level New York ninjas and that kind of thing. I love all that shit. It's a proper like iconic time in the 80s where like ninja shit were just popping. So when I see like 80s ninja shit, I'm always drawn to it. So I liked these, not only the fact that they were on the card and they were the Ninja Warrior figures, but they were also Yaxi Ninja, Yaxi Guerrero ninjas. From Spain, like the Spain equivalent, so they were fucking cool, and they're the goofiest looking ninjas ever. Like ninjas never look like this, but they're just fucking awesome. And if you turn around, they've got the dopest card art. I'm so into card art. I love this so much. I say it when I'm doing the all figured out reviews, that like I love that crazy Ed Repka style art and stuff. And all these look like they could be a Mad album cover or a VHS case, so I love that artwork. So I was instantly drawn to them, and they were a really nice price as well. Like I was surprised how cheap they were, so boom, they instantly got bagged. So overall, Lulu Berlu really did deliver, and the crazy thing about this shop is the prices are all over. Some stuff seems mad expensive, and then some stuff seems mad cheap, and I suppose that just means that you could go anytime and go in there, and if you strike lucky, you might just be able to get yourself a bit of treasure and bring yourself a bargain home. And France isn't even that long to get to from England. Like I swear our flight was like an hour and 10 minutes or something. So overall, a very successful little toy hunting mission, and not only did I get to go to Lulu Berlu and find some really mad toys that I wouldn't have got anywhere else, we also got to eat and cook like some of the craziest food that I've ever had in my life that I would have never got to try before. So also a massive thank you to Cooking with Class for sponsoring this trip practically and paying for everything. Except for the toys, that would be cool, but no.